Hey, good morning. So today I am back in one of my old neighborhoods in the Kingstown area of Alexandria, specifically the Lansdowne neighborhood. I moved here from a few years ago, but still have great friends here, great neighbors. Today we're going to actually be visiting Willow Wright, who owns Urban Redo in Alexandria. So much has changed about the community since we've been here. They've built Wegmans, they've built restaurants, so much more walkability. So looking forward to showing you all a little bit more about this one. In Lansdowne, not Kingstown,
No,
Virginia.
very different than Kingstown.
Very different than Kingstown. So tell me a little bit about, I feel like I know your life story. I know how you ended up in the house.
Yes, because Holly's my realtor. Actually, it's so coincidental that works like that. So we, my husband Andy, actually purchased a townhouse in this neighborhood with another woman.
Oh,
yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yes, yes. Her name wasn't on the was not on the deed.
It was not, because
No.
I sold that house and there's a story behind that one too.
Oh, anyway, so he owned a townhouse in the same community. We have our townhouse right around the corner. So this community of Lansdowne has single families and townhouses, and he bought it in '99, and we stayed there I moved in 2002, and we were there till 2015. So we lived in a townhouse for 13 years with our 2 kids and bikes and all the things, and then we realized that we needed to find someplace else that we could expand into.
But you decided to expand literally
Right around the corner.
right.
Well, okay, so here's the thing.
If we pan out, we could probably see.
If I had a good arm, I could probably throw a rock to where the house is.
So big move, okay.
It was but you know what? It was a big move because I don't do well with change, and we looked literally all around Northern Virginia. I mean, wherever we thought our price range could put us, we looked, and we went. I mean, forever. We just went out on Sundays. This was before Holly was my realtor. We went out, looked everywhere, and I think we just couldn't find anywhere that we wanted to live more than our current neighborhood that had the price that we were willing to pay. So I used to belong to a wine club, which is really like, let's get together with girlfriends and drink wine. And I didn't happen to go this one particular night, and my girlfriend texted me, and she said, hey, this house was going to be going up for sale. The owners were in Colorado, but a military family was here. They were PCSing to somewhere, and the house was going to market. So we actually knew this some similar mutual friends,
Right.
and then I called Holly and I said, I have a house, and can you?
It was like the easiest transaction, kinda. Yeah.
But
But you had already identified. So in this neighborhood, right, it's, I guess, pre-planned community, right? You've got the
For
pool,
sure.
you've got the community
Yep.
and everyone. But there's different model houses here,
Yes.
right? And so I used to live in this model house.
you did, and I've been in it many times before.
Right, exactly. So you had already identified, this is
the model.
This is
right.
the home, and if that one comes open.
Exactly.
Okay.
So because our townhouse some of the townhouses in this community have basements and some do not, and some houses have basements and some don't. So we came from a brick front townhouse. It was lovely, and it had a walkout basement, and we had full use of all 3 floors. So we felt like we had
really
pretty
nice.
good usable space. So just because we're moving into a single family, it had to be bigger.
Yeah.
And some of the houses, the single families, are not much house.
It's not giving you any more
No
space.
more usable space.
Sure.
So we knew that this was the model, and we actually, because we had mutual friends with the owners, as Holly knows, we made a sort of pre-market offer. We knew what the asking price was, and we gave it to them
Yeah.
so that we knew we'd lose
Just
on
to
the
take
house.
it off
Yeah,
of the market.
exactly.
And the market has not slowed down since then. So
No,
we're
we feel pretty good about being here. And I will say that when we walked in, though, you can't see it on camera, but my backyard is like 10 feet, and so luckily my neighbor behind me has the most gorgeous yard.
Yeah.
So when I'm upstairs and I look out, it's almost like I'm looking at my yard. But
That's right. I didn't plant those flowers. Those aren't mine.
That's right, they're not mine, but they're so pretty. But that was the one thing that we bought the house. And I walked in, I was like, oh my god, I can't live here. This is so close.
Yeah.
But she's lovely, and she has a beautiful garden.
God. So as I mentioned, I used to live in this community up to a few years ago, and it was before my kids were school age.
Yep.
But I do remember,
yeah,
right?
okay.
They weren't even
Yes,
in
yes,
school
yes.
yet. Arden was just born. It used to be this parade of strollers and moms and matching workout outfits.
That's right.
Going around the circle, marching to the local elementary school.
For sure, absolutely.
And without kids, I was like, oh my God.
These people.
Look,
Where are they going?
Where are they going? What's going on?
Yes.
But I've now learned that that's kind of the charm of why.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So at my heart of hearts, I'm a city person. I grew up in Richmond, inner city, in a 1800s house. My dad was a historic contractor, so he worked on those houses and had moldings and arches and beautiful things. And now I'm in an 89 build, and it is a struggle for me to live in this house, knowing what I would have wanted from like my dream house.
Of like arches and architectural
just like
beauty
an old, if I could live in an old row house in DC or something like that, it's not practical for our lifestyle. But so that's been a struggle with this particular house. But there's so much other things that the neighborhood has to offer.
Like
so
Lululemon sponsoring the walk to Island Creek.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say it's Lululemon.
That's fair.
But we'll just go with that.
But it's athletic wear, athletic leisure wear.
Athleisure, as we call it.
Athleisure, right.
Athleisure, yeah.
Okay, got it.
But there are a ton of stay-at-home moms in the area, and part of that's because we're a really high military neighborhood.
True. We are, not even a mile from the back gate of Belvoir.
So that's that has a pro and con as well. Pros are that military families are great neighbors, and they're lovely to have around. The bad thing is they move. So you make friends and then they leave.
That's true.
So we say goodbye frequently.
So you've got to adjust something to change.
Exactly. Now I'm good with change. It's fine.
So I was saying, actually in the intro that you didn't see when I was walking up to your house, because I've got porch envy. We're going to take another look at the porch as well. But it's changed a lot, right? So when I was living here, it was community. You get in your car, you drive to where you have to go. Mm-hmm. And then like Wegmans came. And the
world changes.
Right.
Yeah.
How often are you over there?
Twice a day. So, part of the reason when we were looking around Northern Virginia to find some place to buy, we already had walkability. So we walk to our elementary school. We can walk to our library.
True.
We have a pool in the neighborhood, playgrounds. We already have a shopping center at the corner of Beulah and Telegraph that has every restaurant you want: Greek, Japanese, Thai, barbecue, burgers, everything. We walk to dinner all the time. CVS, and then when Wegmans came and that whole other shopping center, it's like we're never leaving.
We're here.
We're here for what it's worth. I don't go on Sundays, but
it's probably a smart idea.
Every other day.
All right, so rapid fire questions.
Yes. Oh gosh. Okay.
All right. What's your favorite thing about the house?
Oh my gosh. Oh God, I don't know. I do love it. I don't know that I have a favorite thing.
Mm-hmm. This isn't so rapid when we're...
No, it's not very rapid. Okay. I think space then.
Okay.
When we moved in, we put a 5th bedroom downstairs. So we can host... We have 5 bedrooms, two being guest bedrooms. So that's really nice that we can host people and have lots of space for people to be.
I did say rapid fire, but I do want to touch on that, right?
Okay.
So when you moved into this house, you moved in and you already had like your plans of like what you wanted to do,
Yep.
or did it just become over time?
Funny story. My mother-in-law would come to visit, and when she came to the townhouse, she'd always stay over at the Embassy Suites, and the kids loved it because they would have like staycation over there. So when we bought this house, we finished up. We redid the basement bathroom. It's basically an ensuite downstairs, and we put an egress so that if there's a fire, people can escape. Thinking that when she would come to visit, she would stay with us.
Yeah.
She still stays at Embassy Suites.
That's funny. She's like, my Hilton points are a lot
Exactly.
more.
No, it's fine. So when my mother would come to visit before she was here, she would stay. And for Christmas, we were able to host, 6 people, and everybody had room.
Yeah, it is. It's a spacious.
It's really nice. It's light and bright down there, and our basement is fully livable. We have our family room down there, and lots of space for play.
All right, so back to, I guess, I don't know whether it's rapid questions.
It's not
or
rapid. It's quick questions
with really slow answers. You've transitioned businesses
That's
since
right.
you've been here, right? So one of the things I remember, gosh, was that 5 years ago when you moved here, right? You were in a completely different line of work,
Completely different line of work.
working from home.
Yep. Yes.
primarily.
Yes.
So how has that transition been from, because you sort of built this house out where you had your home office, which is
did.
nice, and now
Yeah.
you're outside of the house.
So what's the question?
So I mean, the transition.
The transition. Well, it's actually been pretty good because I my own business, but that's also very closely located to the house. So I'm over at the shop within 10 minutes.
Nice.
And that's really great. And my kids are older now, so they can walk home from school. I feel safe. I should tell you that we lock our doors all the time. We don't, but we will now because
Or we're gonna edit that out.
Yeah, so I feel very fortunate that we can live in this neighborhood. It's close to work, and my husband's at Tyson's, so he's on the Beltway pretty easily.
Oh, did I realize he was in Tyson still? Maybe I did.
Yeah.
So it's not like 45 in traffic?
Well, if you take the hot lanes for $20, you can get home in 25
There
minutes.
you go. You pay to play.
We do. We pay to play. It is what it is.
It's expensive though.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, anytime I go to Tyson's, I will say that I
No
I
more
suck at
stroller brigade. We do kiss and ride in the morning because I'm slippers. Generally I do. You can hear about my
I just did drop
kiss
off.
and
so.
ride drama other day, but no, it's I'm really happy with our elementary school. My husband and I both are public school kids, so the thought of sending our kids to a private school was something that it's not even really a conversation that we have.
Yeah.
Until we would feel like we would need to do that at some point.
But I mean,
I don't think so.
But we're in Fairfax County, so
Well, exactly. In Fairfax County, I feel like even if you were to look at the great schools things and who's got what, even not that that's the be all.
it
end
is
all.
not the end
It's
all
not.
be all.
I do look at it. I can't say that if I had to choose between a 10 and a 1, I'd be like, it's the same. Don't necessarily think
There's
it's
a
the same.
reason why, right? There's a
There
10 and a
is
1. I get
some
that.
reason why. However, having said that, like all of our local schools are pretty much middle of the pack. But I've always said that if you're in a school in Fairfax County, you could be doing so much worse in so many other parts of the country. So, as long as you're involved in your kids' education and are aware, then you're already a step ahead of so many people.
That's true.
Yeah, Rich Public Schools is a very low bar.
I don't know where they are now because
I don't know either.
Richmond has changed a great
100%,
deal,
yes.
but
When I was in school,
But you also, again, pay to play up here because the taxes are high, and so you might as well be getting something out of it.
yeah,
which
yeah,
is-
absolutely.
yeah.
So we're pleased. My kids are happy, healthy, well-rounded, all the things.
Got it. So tell me about your design flair in the house. I don't know whether you can see behind me, but I love this
Well, we
background.
chose this background so you could see it as opposed to maybe the other background. Like I said, I struggle because the house is very builder grade right now. When we moved in, we did the capital expense of building the egress. We put a deck on. We've redone 3 bathrooms, but my kitchen needs redone, and there's some other, just things that we still want to work on in the house. And trying to make it the flair that I want it to be, but letting the house tell me about itself. Like, I can't add tons of huge moldings and things because I don't think it's appropriate for the build of the house.
So, I mean, you're much more into design than I am. I just, I like a house, I'm buying a house, I live in the house. Right?
Well,
every 2 years I seem to.
I don't have that ability. I micro analyze every single decision.
Yeah.
I have to live it. You have to think about it, live with it, decide.
But what's your style, right? What's it?
Eclectic, if I had to say.
Okay.
The things I love come into the house. If I don't love it, they don't come in. And I did have a designer come in once and said, "Oh, I don't really get your house. You've got mid-century in your office. I've got Duncan Fife in my dining room. I've got more transitional, I guess you'd call it, in here. I don't know. It doesn't.
It's not like a full flow.
It doesn't
from a
flow, but it
interior
flows
person.
as far as it's all got a little bit of our personality in it, and yeah.
I like
That's
that.
it. Thank you.
Yeah,
I like it. It's warm.
it is warm. It's warm
feels
and welcoming.
nice and cozy. Yeah.
And so I think I already talked about our porch, and we're going to take a look at the porch as well because now remember when you were doing, because it already had the porch on it, right?
Ours had the porch. Yours did not.
Right, exactly. So I was a little jealous.
Yep.
I have since built a porch on my house.
Yes, you have. Lovely.
Yes.
Actually do love our porch. We one of the favorite things is we painted the blue under our porch ceiling.
Yeah.
Which is called Haint Blue.
That's what it is. Anytime I see that blue, I'm like, that's the Willow blue, because I can never remember.
Haint Blue, it keeps the bad spirits away. So
Interesting.
I do love that. It's a southern thing.
Yeah. I remember Googling.
Yep.
And then,
otherwise we sit on the porch with coffee or cocktails. We can watch kids play outside. So that's the best. That's actually maybe the best thing about the house is the porch.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yep.
Well, I appreciate you letting me in today. Yeah. Trying to think, anything else you want to tell us about?
No.
No. Awesome. Okay.
Well, actually, the only thing I'll say is if you want to be in our neighborhood, find someone to know in the neighborhood, because most of the houses are sold to someone else who's already been in the neighborhood. Some people go back to a townhouse, and some people are going to a single family. There's a lot of home sales that go on kind of behind the scenes.
I think that's a really good point. Or you just find an agent that,
or call Holly,
or you find an agent that knows a lot about the off.
True.
Honestly, right?
Yes,
about
yes.
off-market listings that happen.
I didn't think about that because I also tried to for sale by owner my house.
Do we want to go into that story?
I don't think so.
I think we do.
I mean, no, we don't.
We don't want to go into that. Okay.
It makes me look bad.
It does. It makes me look really good. Okay, so put the coffee cup down. All right. So thank you, Willow.
You're
I
welcome.
appreciate your time this morning and letting me take over your house. We'll come back for cocktails, I guess, on the porch. For follow up.
Springtime.
Okay.
Yep.
Sounds
When
good.
it's January. It doesn't look that great outside.
I know, but it was 70 degrees yesterday. So. All right. Thank you, my dear.
You're welcome.